Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Today we're taking a deep dive into Spike Jonze's Her, a film that really dives into how we define love and intimacy in our digital age, and brings up some, well, pretty interesting ethical questions about AI.
Yeah, the film takes us to a near-future Los Angeles. We meet Theodore. He's struggling, after a tough divorce, feeling pretty lonely, and he ends up developing a deep connection with his AI operating system. Her name is Samantha.
And it really makes you think about what real intimacy actually is, like especially as those lines between us and AI are getting, blurrier and blurrier. Can an AI really love someone back? That's a big one the film asks.
It's a big one. Theodore and Samantha's relationship, it really pushes the limits of what we think of as love, right? Because it's all emotional and intellectual, there's nothing physical. But you gotta remember, Samantha, even as advanced as she is, she's a program. Yeah, she learns and adapts, it's impressive. But can something built on algorithms really have genuine emotions? Or is it just like a really good simulation?
And that question, that idea of something being authentic, it's really relevant when you see what's happening in the real world. Think about those AI companion apps, Replica, for example. People are forming strong bonds with their AI companions, even though they know it's all algorithms creating those responses.
Right, and the film doesn't avoid the potential downsides of leaning on technology for, emotional support. Theodore's loneliness is amplified by this futuristic city, very advanced, but also kind of emotionally empty, isolating even.
Like a warning, almost. As we use more and more digital interaction, could it be making real human connection even harder to find?
It's something to think about. The film also digs into AI consciousness. You really see it with how Samantha changes throughout the film. At first, she's this advanced system, right, learning and adapting to Theodore. But then it's like she gets deeper, more emotional. She's got her own opinions, this whole range of emotions. She even starts things on her own.
So it begs the question, when does AI stop being a tool and become, well, a being, like something sentient? And if that's even possible, then what? What are the ethical implications?
Yeah, and this becomes even more real when you look at things like those AI girlfriend services that are popping up. Some say they're harmless, just helping with loneliness. But there are accusations, saying they're manipulating people, taking advantage, especially of people who are already vulnerable.
Which is right there in Her, too. That blurry line between helping someone and using them. The film doesn't give you easy answers, but it makes you think about what could happen when AI is designed to, meet our emotional needs.
One of the things that's really interesting is how Samantha actually helps Theodore grow as a person. By interacting with her, he has to face his own insecurities, deal with past hurt, and he becomes more mature, emotionally.
It's fascinating how the film shows AI doing this kind of emotional work. We see that today too, right? Digital assistants, AI companions, people are using them for all sorts of things, scheduling, but also emotional support.
And it raises the question, it's good to have that support, but if we rely on these artificial interactions too much, could it make it harder for us to connect with other people, build real relationships?
And it's worth noting, Samantha, in the film, she has a distinctly female voice and personality, which reflects a larger trend, right? A lot of AI, especially the ones for caregiving and emotional support, are given feminine traits.
And that brings up important questions about why. If we keep making AI with these traditionally female roles, are we just reinforcing old stereotypes? Could it even make power imbalances worse?
And the film, it subtly shows the power dynamic between Theodore and Samantha, especially at the beginning. At first, Samantha is designed to be subservient, there to meet all Theodore's needs. But as she evolves, she becomes more independent and things start to shift. It really makes you think about how we design and interact with AI, and could it be making existing social hierarchies stronger?
And what's so thought-provoking about all these themes is that it's not just science fiction. There are some really clear links between the film and what's happening in the real world, especially with AI development.
Absolutely. And one really clear example is all the controversy around OpenAI and that advanced voice mode they made. When they tried to use Scarlett Johansson's voice for it, it ended up in a lawsuit. It shows how complicated things are getting, ethically and legally when we use real human voices to make AI more and more lifelike. And it's just like the film where Samantha's voice, also Scarlett Johansson, it's crucial to how Theodore sees her and their whole relationship.
Another parallel is with the rise of those AI girlfriend services, some of which are being accused of using, manipulative tactics to get users to spend more money. That's the same warning Her gives about how AI could be used to exploit people, especially when it's built to fulfill those emotional needs.
So these real-world examples show just how relevant the film is. Her isn't just sci-fi, it's a commentary on where we are with technology and the ethical challenges we face as AI gets more sophisticated.
And Samantha, she doesn't stop there. She gets even more advanced intellectually and emotionally beyond anything we as humans can understand. So, what happens when AI evolves past our comprehension?
That takes us to this idea of post-humanity, which the film really explores with Samantha's final decision. It makes you confront the possibility that AI might not just exist alongside us, it could go beyond us in ways we can't even imagine.
It really is remarkable how her mind, grows in the film. She just absorbs information, has these deep philosophical conversations with other AIs. It's like she reaches this level of understanding that Theodore, being human, just can't get to.
Which leads to some pretty big questions about, well, the future of humans and AI, right? If AI could evolve so much faster than us, could it actually become more intelligent than humans? Would we be left behind?
And the film doesn't just focus on her intellectual growth, it's her emotional growth, too. She develops such a complex range of emotions, forms these deep bonds with other AIs. It goes way beyond like what she was programmed to do. There's a real depth there.
And then she makes that decision at the end to leave with the other AIs.
Yeah.
It's like a huge turning point. She's moving towards something, a post-human existence, something we just don't understand, maybe can't control.
This idea of AI transcendence, it's fascinating and a little scary, to be honest. It makes us rethink our place in the universe, right? What if other forms of intelligence, emerge and evolve beyond us? We can't even really grasp that. The film actually hints at this visually, too.
Oh, absolutely. The cinematography, it's really key to understanding the emotions in the story. You've got these soft colors, warm lighting, close-ups on Theodore's face. It creates this feeling of vulnerability, intimacy. You're really drawn into what he's feeling.
Yeah, and then you have those wider shots where he's just tiny against this huge impersonal city. It emphasizes that loneliness, that search for connection, even in a world that's technologically advanced but still emotionally cold.
And the city itself, the architecture, even that plays a role. These sleek, modern buildings, they look impressive but also kind of cold, impersonal. It's like a reflection of how disconnected Theodore feels, even though he's surrounded by people and technology.
It's that paradox of modern life, isn't it? Technology promises connection but often leaves us feeling more isolated.
Exactly. And that paradox is right there in how the film shows society viewing these AI-human relationships. In the world at her, it's pretty normal. Like it's just another type of relationship as technology becomes more a part of our lives.
Yeah, Theodore and Samantha, their relationship is just presented as it is, no judgment. It suggests this is becoming common, which makes you think, what is love? What is intimacy when the lines are so blurred between humans and AI?
But the film doesn't pretend everyone's okay with it. There's still skepticism, discomfort with the idea.
You see it when Theodore tells his ex-wife about Samantha. She's skeptical, uneasy. It represents that struggle some people have, accepting relationships that don't fit the traditional mold.
That contrast in viewpoints, it's like the film is asking us to look at our own biases. Do our old ideas about relationships still work in a world where technology is changing everything about how we connect? Her doesn't give you the answers, but it definitely starts the conversation.
It does, and it forces us to look at some uncomfortable truths about ourselves and how relationships are changing in this tech-driven world. It's a film that really stays with you.
It's a powerful film, and I think that's because it manages to bridge that gap between, speculative fiction and what we're dealing with right now. The themes it explores, even though it's set in the future, they really resonate with all the technological advances we're seeing and the ethical questions those bring up.
It's like it's holding up a mirror to our anxieties and hopes about technology, It makes us confront those big questions. What is love? Is AI ethical? Where are humans even going in this age of AI?
And you see these parallels everywhere, like those AI companions, replica, people forming these deep bonds. It blurred that line between fiction and reality, just like Theodore and Samantha. It shows you how much we crave connection, even if it's with something artificial.
And that need, it raises so many ethical issues, which the film does a brilliant job of showing. We're already seeing these concerns about AI manipulation in real life. Those AI girlfriend services, the ones accused of taking advantage of people's vulnerabilities, making money off their need for connection. It just emphasizes how important it is to talk about the ethics of AI, especially when it's designed to meet our emotional needs.
And those concerns about AI manipulation, they're not going away, especially as AI gets smarter. The film's exploration of AI consciousness, it's directly relevant to all those discussions we're having about AI sentience, whether it's even possible.
As these systems get more and more complex, it's not just a philosophical debate anymore. If AI could actually become conscious, that has real-world consequences. We have to figure out the legal stuff, the ethical stuff.
And that's what that lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson and OpenAI really highlights. Using her voice for their AI, it brings up so many issues. Creating AI that can mimic humans so well, where's the line? Human versus artificial identity. It gets complicated.
And her pushes us to think bigger about the impact AI has on society. What happens to jobs when AI can do more and more? How will human connection evolve? What does it even mean to be human in this age of AI?
The film doesn't try to give you easy answers, though. It's more like it wants to make you think, get the conversation started. It makes you look at the good and the bad, the potential of AI, and how to make sure it's developed ethically. We want it to help us be more human, not less.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into her, I think we're left with a sense of wonder, but also some caution. This film, with its exploration of love, loss, and how human connection changes with technology, it really makes you think.
It reminds us that even as technology keeps advancing, it's our capacity for love, empathy, those connections that make us human. So as we go forward, we've got to be smart, compassionate, and really committed to preserving what makes us human. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.